The transfer season is well and truly underway. The Champions League's done, the UEFA Nations League is done. Players can actually have some rest and go on holiday and make us all incredibly jealous of the lives they lead for a couple of weeks, I guess. Anyway, we're going to talk a bit today about some of the transfer rumours that are ongoing at the minute. Of course, things like Jude Bellingham and Alexis Mac Alister and Jurrien Timber are all done and sorted and all that sort of stuff, so there won't be too much to talk about them here. What we're going to do, though, is I've scoured the internet, I've scoured Fabrizio Romano's Twitter feed is definitely one source. For a few transfer rumours, we're just going to have a bit of a talk about each of them, how they'd fit into their respective teams. Go from there, basically. If there's any that I've missed that you would like to hear about or hear me talk about, let me know. I'll do another video like this. I'm getting really into just talking about football. I know, obviously, the channel has very much been FIFA and Football Manager, but I mean, just talking about football's pretty goddamn good too. So, if there's anything else, of course, you want to hear from me, more tier lists, more transfers I talk about, a keep and sell list for different teams, XYZ, whatever, let me know. Put it in the comments down below. I'll see what I can do. While you're down there, leave us a like, subscribe. I mean, we're almost at 180, and way back during my West Ham season, I promised to do a 180 call like they do in the darts when we got to 180, so that might be coming in this video pretty soon. Other than that, let's get into it. We've got a few things to talk about. The first deal we are going to be talking about, or rumour we're going to be talking about, I guess, is Kai Havertz to Arsenal. About a £60 million bid allegedly, supposedly being put on the table from Arsenal to Chelsea. A nice contract for him as well. And look, I'm torn with this one. It's not necessarily one I'm not rating, because the way that I see the team working out, which I'll go through in a second, of course using share my tactics, but the way that I see it, I don't really see how it fits together. It doesn't have the balance of the midfield that I think you'd want, but it may be the sort of thing that in theory it's terrible. In my football brain theory, it's terrible, but in practice it's actually amazing, and who knows, maybe it will be absolutely fantastic. As for him leaving Chelsea, look, it sucks, because I think he is a brilliant footballer. I think he really is a brilliant footballer. He just hasn't had the stability is one thing, and a one coach that plays him in one position over and over again, to not being played in striker. Can we just stop? He's not a number 9. He's not a number 9. He needs to be playing like in the transitions as a number 10, using his good movement, good passing, good touch, setting people up. He needs a proper striker ahead of him, which is something we might talk about soon after this. Anyway, let's head to the tactics board. This then is how I see the Arsenal team, I guess, shaping up. I guess, obviously, this 3-2-4-1 is very much based off Pep Guardiola, and, we've seen Arteta play, some version of this. Not, obviously, they're different nuances and things like that, and things work in different ways, but assuming that, Partey stays, and Partey is one, someone who's rumoured with leaving, there's other transfer rumours with Arsenal that we'll go to as well in just a second, but for present purposes, we're just talking about Havertz, who of course I've got here. Looking at it, I don't mind it in this shape. In this shape, I think it's fine. It's just then when they get, they've pushed up, it's then when it gets in areas like this. So, on the ball, absolutely brilliant. When they lose the ball, worried, because the way that they, Zinchenko he's never going to be that dependable defensively, whether it's in a set back four when they're, defending and they've got their structure set, or whether it's in transitions. So if they're in transitions, I'm still worried, because I think he's quite easy to get around. Any number of Premier League sides, you think of a Brentford and somebody, say Arsenal lose ball, Brentford's coming against him, it's quite easy for an Mbuemo or a Damsgaard or a Tony, if he's on the field, getting around him. It doesn't sit well with me. Then my concern goes to the shape defensively. So it does then sit back into something like this, and this is really where my concerns are, because I don't see Odegaard or Havertz really wanting to do the hard yards and getting all the way back. Obviously, Odegaard, very good footballer, very good work ethic for what he is, but you're wasting what he is the best at by making him, say they do drop back into, even if they have it so that it drops back into a 4-4-2 sort of thing, it feels like you're wasting Odegaard or making him do something he doesn't want to do or doesn't, shouldn't be doing. Or if you do it the other way and Havertz goes back and Odegaard stays up, it's the same problem. I think it's the same problem. If you look at midfields, I mean, it's very easy to use this as an example, but like Manchester City, the midfield three that they have with Rodri, Gundogan, and Kevin De Bruyne, of course, it has that balance. It has, Gundogan isn't, the same player as De Bruyne, which, Odegaard and Havertz very similar, I guess levels of how much they want to be attacking and how much they want to be defending. It doesn't quite sit right. It's like having two number 10s as your number 8s. It worries me. That's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. As I said before, I could be completely wrong. If it turns out that this is the move they do, and look, he starts playing and it is like this, it might be brilliant. I don't know. You might know. You might have another idea. Maybe I'm, underselling how good Odegaard or Havertz are defensively, but just the way I see it anyway. Staying with Arsenal then, and a couple of other players that they are rumoured with getting. Jurrien Timber from Ajax Academy, absolutely sensational player. Bit young still, bit raw, maybe. I mean, it's hard to be raw coming through the Ajax Academy with, learning the same thing from when he was 8 years old or whatever. But untested at this level, I guess. It's hard to say because he would have played Champions League football, hasn't he? We've just seen it before whether they have been successful for Ajax, like Jairo Riedewald and like Donny van der Beek, where it just hasn't quite worked out in the Prem. Even David Klaassen, to a degree, it just didn't really work out the same way, whether it was that they, once taken out of that Ajax system, it didn't work, or the quality difference between the leagues, whatever it was, it just didn't work out. And I fear that for Timber, but at the same time, I'd be excited to see it. I love Ajax at my heart. There's behind me over here is Johan Cruyff's. You can actually see, literally next to this photo of my partner and I, you can actually see Johan Cruyff's autobiography just there. I've read it front to cover, like front to back, like. But I think I went to say cover to cover and really messed it up. But I love the idea of it. I hope it works out. Just obviously there are some reservations and so if this is how they then line up, I still have the same concerns. I think Ben White's very good, so I don't really see why you need to necessarily replace him. But I think that's how it works out because Timber does play a bit of right back, plays a bit of centre back, plays even in midfield, so maybe he is one that can do, I was going to say the John Stones role. I still have the same concerns. So if they then scooch back into this 4-3-3, I still have the same concerns about the midfield. It's the same concern, and then, Declan Rice used to playing in a 2 for West Ham the last few years, a very good player, not going to sit here and doubt that he's going to be very good wherever he does end up. Just different, and it'll take time. The other option, it really, I guess, would be if we change Zinchenko here to White, right? And then Gabriel goes on the left. And say that's how they want to do it, right? Whether White is, here or on the right, Timber and him can spot. I don't, however they want to do it, whatever it is. I worry about Gabriel, or say there you want to do something like this. I mean, I like this base of the midfield more. Again, still the same issues with those two being your two number 8s. It's going to be my concern about it the whole time. Then if Rice is the person who's doing this, the dropping into the back 4, I don't know if he's. Again, you need to be put in the situation to be able to do it. but I don't know if he's good at that because we haven't seen him yet. So it's something that needs to be proven. The next thing is, if it does go back into like a 4-3-3, say like this, right? Whoops. I'm concerned then about Gabriel, because I like him as a centre-back next to Saliba has been quite good, with Partey in front of him, with Zinchenko as a bit of a buffer on the outside of him. Is he fine as a left-back himself? I don't know. I doubt it, but maybe that's just my, I don't know, bias, me being an idiot. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know what you think. That's all for Arsenal. There's a couple more I want to talk about, so we'll move on. Let me know what you think. As I said before, all of it's my opinions, all of it's just how my brain works and how I see football working. If you think it's going to work differently, let me know. Love to have a chat with you. Love to see what you think and how wrong I am, I guess. The next one is Chelsea FC, rumoured to be signing Nicolas Jackson from Villarreal. I've watched him a few times playing for Villarreal. Still looks a bit raw to me, and I know I said that word with Timber, and I think it's different with Nicolas Jackson. I think he's, for me, a season away. Like if he had another season at Villarreal, I think it'd be a very good season. Not that he had a bad season this year, anything like that. I think he would have a very good season. For me, I don't know if he's going to translate and go immediately into the Premier League to a team like Chelsea with the ambitions they do have and where they want to be, ending up, or how they want to be competing. Is he going to fit in straight away? Look, I have my doubts, but I think he needs that time. Will he get that at Chelsea? I'm not sure. I'd like to see it. I do think he does have talent. He's very quick, good touch, good movement. Just a little bit inconsistent still, and not quite at that, level of being able to put in that great performance week in, week out, and get the job done for Chelsea. I'm not sure. This is how I see it though. As discussed in a previous video, I think I was talking mostly about Ange Postecoglou going to Tottenham, but we also spoke about Pochettino and a little bit about Ten Hag in that video. A couple of videos ago. Go watch it. Why not? We talked about Mauricio Pochettino and how I think he'll line up with Chelsea. I think it'll be the 4-2-3-1. That's why I've got that on the screen here with basically their lineup. Obviously, there's plenty of rumours with plenty of Chelsea players, including Kovacic, who may or may not be there when the first game rolls around. Cucurella is another one that has rumours. Reece James needs to stay fit somehow. They've got plenty of options for who stays, who goes. This is a concern as well for me, like this midfield pairing. I think Enzo needs to be freed. So I think they do. I almost think they'd benefit more from a Declan Rice than Arsenal would. I don't know. Again, my views, my thoughts, how my brain works, whatever. That's a worry for me. I'd like to see a Rice or a Manuel Ugarte from Sporting Club Portugal. I think it'd be a really good fit. It'd free Enzo up, allow him to get closer to Nkunku and helping out. Again, going back to Kai Havertz, I think he would really flourish if we could change this. My spelling on show. If we could change that to Havertz, I think that would be really, really good. Having, even if this is Madueke, whatever, I don't know. I think, the way that they would press and, the way, thinking back to the Tottenham days under Pochettino with Kane and Son and Eriksen, Dele Alli, them pressing up high, it was gorgeous, and I think they do have the players to do it, whether it is Havertz or Nkunku or I don't know, whoever it might be, and then you could even have Havertz be just on the right hand side here. I think that's how it could work out. I don't see Nkunku playing as the number 9 as much as he probably is more suited to that than Kai Havertz, but what he wants to be doing is like running in behind, and whether he gets that opportunity playing as a number 9 for Chelsea, a little less likely, I guess. But playing in Germany, he gets a lot of that transition, gets a lot of that, time in transitions in the very quick, they win the ball back, they transition, and maybe that suits playing for Chelsea, but I think playing as a number sort of 10 in behind the striker, that will work really well. And as mentioned before, the pressing with Pochettino, very, very important, and I think it'll really suit, players like Nkunku and Mudryk even. For Nicolas Jackson, it'll be a learning curve, I guess, and as I said before, like it might take a year for him to settle. It might take, I don't know. Again, balancing the midfield so that they, keep hold of the ball more. I'm not sure what it'll be. But I think, I really like the move. I think he is a player who could definitely perform at the level. It's just whether he gets given the time to at Chelsea or whether, a season in and, for argument's sake, 8 goals in the Premier League, he'll get loaned out, and I don't want to see that. Because I think he can be a top level striker. Because he's got the tools, he's got the size, the speed, the touch, good movement. Just needs the time, and I think it's a really good move for him. I'm crying out for a striker. The team that, as much as Lukaku didn't work out on his return, the team is still crying out for that striker. And basically since Diego Costa left, really, it's not looked too great. The next one is Liverpool. We wanted to talk about Liverpool a bit. I spoke about them in our, ranking tier list, season, whatever you want to call it, video. And midfield rebuild, everybody knows about it. Everybody knows midfield is where the issue lies at the minute. They've done a good job of, regenerating that front line with, previously Salah, Firmino and Mane. Now moving on to being, I guess, Jota, Luis Diaz, Gakpo, Nunez. They've got a good regeneration happening up there. They just need to then do it in midfield. And of course they signed Alexis Mac Alister, which I think is a great move. Personally, as a Manchester City fan, as you see, John Stones above me here. Look, I'm pissed. I would have loved Alexis Mac Alister. Assuming we are losing Gundogan, I would have loved Alexis Mac Alister to come to City. But I think he's a great move for Liverpool. Obviously, he plays a very similar I guess, brand of football already at Brighton with De Zerbi. Similar in the way of, trying to be attacking, trying to keep the ball, pressing, all that sort of stuff. Not obviously the same tactics as Jurgen Klopp or anything, but I think it's a great signing. I think it's a really, really good signing. We're going to talk today about a couple of other midfield signings that they may be after or may be making. But Alexis Mac Alister, great signing. This is how I think they'll line up. So, obviously, a lot depends on who stays, who goes, blah, 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 all that stuff. This is, with what they've got right now, this is how they think they line up. Obviously, you can do Gakpo in either of these spots. You can do Jota in either of these spots. Someone else is probably also missing out. I don't know. They got some good attacking players. I've got Thiago here, getting on. Who knows? Maybe Saudi Arabia have enough for him. I don't know. I like it. What we were talking about with Arsenal, I think this side it does have the balance here of, players who do really good passing, get further up. Alexis Mac Alister can probably do the same thing, almost plays at number 10 at times, really. I think he has that ability. Plenty of rumours, of course, with Liverpool and who they may bring in, who they are after. Few names, Khephren Thuram being one of them, Manu Kone another. I've even seen links with Ryan Gravenberch, who, again, coming from Ajax, went to another club. It hasn't seemed to work out. I don't know what it is. It's either you absolutely slap a club and it's brilliant, like I don't know, Matthijs de Ligt or something, who's become an absolute world beater, or it just doesn't work out when you leave. I don't know. Look, as long as he gets given the chance, it isn't another Arthur loan deal where he just doesn't actually take any part in the team and nobody wants to. No, look, you wouldn't have known he was there if it wasn't plastered all over social media how silly that move was. The point being, I think if you do put Thuram here, I think it still works out. I think he very good at being press resistant and would be really good in the transitions for Liverpool. And something they have been very good at under Klopp is their counterattacks. So whether it is a ball straight from Alisson to Thuram, very good at breaking the lines, and whether it's with the dribble, whether it's with a good pass or something, they then obviously got who they've got up front and some very good players in transition and just good players really all up. Along with him, someone I view as quite a similar player and a similar prospect, I guess, would be Manu Kone. Again, same thing. I think he's very, very good at breaking those lines. I think he is a bit more defensive, so it really does then mean that Mac Alister does need to take that load. I guess really had to pause there. He really does shoulder the burden of needing to be the creative outlet, and whether he has that or not, I guess we'll see. I think I've spelled that wrong. I don't know. I just think he's a very good player though. So I'd back him to do it. And I think Liverpool looking like this will be very good. Of course, the other option then is Gravenberch. I don't think he wants to get up into these roles because he does have a bit of a wicked shot on him. And, you know, I think in sort of his latter times at Ajax was even more of the holder. So you could play like this and then where Fabinho is, then have like a Thuram there. And that works as well. I mean, you know, Gravenberch's happy to sit back there. Not as good defensively, obviously, as Fabinho, but there's not many that are in that role. And also Gravenberch's 10 years old, so he's got time on his side to change it, do what he wants, do whatever, learn under Klopp and under Fabinho, and hopefully it works out, I guess. So if that's how the midfield now regenerates and now looks, I think that's quite good. Again, Mac Alister very much the lead creative force then, if that is how the midfield shapes up. But again, they've got a very, very good player for not too big of a fee, which is a very good deal, isn't it? Very briefly now, just lastly, I want to talk about Tottenham and James Maddison. I think it's a very, very good deal. I think it is, as we spoke about in the keep or sell video last Tuesday, I think it is what the midfield is missing. The balance of the midfield, as we spoke about, was with Arsenal and Chelsea and basically, it's a big thing I think about. The balance of the midfield is off with them in the opposite way of Arsenal's. It's very much too defensive with Højbjerg, Bentancur, Bissouma, Ollie Skip even. They're all very much not number 10s. But I think with James Maddison, he has that ability to be a bit more of a 10 and an 8. Or in Football Manager terms, be like a Mazzala. I don't know. This is how I see it shaping up, though. This is, look, I'm so excited for Ange Postecoglou in the Premier League. I spoke about it at length, obviously, in the previous videos, but being a Brisbane boy, born and bred, that was really hard to get out of my head. Anyway, born in Brisbane, lived Brisbane all my life. He coached our team here, and 36 games unbeaten, back-to-back titles, like the transcendent, you know. It was so good to see. And then to see the career he's gone on to have has been sensational. I'm so excited to see him in the Premier League. I can't wait to see what he does with Tottenham. Obviously, they need support. They need things to work out, but this is how I see it sort of shaping up. Obviously, a few players you can change here. Bissouma could be, taken out for Højbjerg. Højbjerg could be up here and has played higher up under, I guess, for Denmark as opposed to for Spurs and for Southampton, where he's been much more of like a 2 at the base, like a double pivot or whatever. Obviously question marks over the centre backs and the left side, and very good that they've now secured Kulusevski permanently. That's great news. I don't know why there was ever doubt or like second guessing happening there, but if this is how the midfield shapes up, I really like the balance of this because I don't see Bentancur as an out and out 6. Like I think Bissouma would be really good in that role, and even Højbjerg probably, maybe even more. I don't know. Again, one of the players will do it, and Ange Postecoglou will do what he does probably. I really like the balance though because I think Bentancur is a really good player out, similar to Kone or Thuram, breaking the lines, being press resistant, finding that good pass, and also being a bit of a metronome and just keeping the ball moving in and around those spaces. Maddison then has the ability to get that bit further forward, so he can be the one that is, I guess, if you think about the balance of the Manchester City midfield, Bentancur is more of the Gundogan, Maddison's more of the Kevin De Bruyne with maybe getting the freedom as Kulusevski wants to cut in, Maddison around the outside, or maybe he's finding lots of spaces in amongst here. And obviously he's got then his technical ability from free kicks, and he can rival Son and Kane for set piece duties. I don't know. Left back needs to get sorted. I don't know if it's Davies that should be out there or Sessegnon. I don't know if it should be. I don't think they're picking up the option on Clement Longley, but Eric Dyer, I don't know. Sanchez should go as well. I think Matt Doherty's confirmed gone now, so it's Emerson Royale and Pedro Porro, who I think both will do a decent job. Obviously, I've spoken about this in the keep or sell video. They're very much viewed as being wing backs, but I guess similar to what we've talked about with Declan Rice and, I mean, probably numerous other players, you need to be given the opportunity to show that you can do something, to show that you can do it, you know? Like, he needs to be put in that position as an out-and-out right back to show that he can do that. Like, you know, you think back, I guess before Tottenham, he was at Barcelona playing in a back four, because that's what like, it's possible. Sessegnon hasn't always played in like three at the back. Obviously has played winger, so he does like to be higher up the pitch, but maybe he can do it. We don't know. Maybe Davies under, obviously ignore that that's Sessegnon, and I mean, let's just change it to Dyer, for argument's sake. Change it to Dyer. Maybe Davies, you know, question marks about whether he has the pace, the, you know, whatever to do this. Maybe he is good at being an inverted, and it, you know, ends up looking more like that. And I mean, Emerson Royale as a third centre back looks scary, but maybe it works. I don't know. You know, plenty of variables, plenty of things yet to be seen and be determined. And I'm just excited for the Premier League season. It's been like 4 weeks or something since it's gone, and I just want it back. I want it back, man. You probably do too if you've lasted this long into the video. Thank you very, very much for watching. Make sure you do leave us that like down below. Let me know if there's any other transfers you do want me to talk about, what you thought of these ones, whether it is how wrong I am, how great I am, whatever it is. I would love to hear from you. Leave a like while you're down there, subscribe as well. That's about it. Peace.